earned into existence. All right? So that means the new homeowner, be it a minimum wage person, a senior, or any Canadian, can purchase a home with the money that they don't have to spend on income taxes or on property taxes, because the civil servants will have earned their pay into existence. Human labor is the most precious commodity in the world. And we'll print the world's most valuable currency because it's backed by the most precious commodity in the world. Human labor. There is no commodity worth more than this. There's nothing in this world worth more than a human being. And their labor is the most valuable thing there is. All right, guys? Okay. So you've got no property tax, you've got no income tax, also licensing. Licensing is just a scam to get you to pay tax to drive an automobile. Also, car insurance is a huge scam. Insurance is backed up 80% by the public. So why shouldn't the public just print the money to back up the labor that a mechanic would use to repair an automobile, or the person at the factory that used to create that part? Also, our lending system will contribute to the purchases of goods. All right, when people start paying their money, the money from their labor to pay their mortgages that we printed out of thin air for them, the government can take that money and use it twice. Number one, we lent it to people at no interest so they could buy a home and generate business and create opportunity for people. But when they actually start paying that money back that we created out of thin air, it'll be backed by their labor, and also we'll be able to reinvest it into the country, this new money, and we'll be able to use it twice. It'll be back twice, if at least. It's wonderful. It's the way to go. So $15 an hour, you've got very little overhead now. So basically you're taking home $600 a week. So you take $5 an hour out of your $15 an hour wage, that's a third of your wages. It leaves you with $400 a week. And over the course of a year, there's 2,000 hours, so $5 an hour, that's $10,000 a year. What we'll do is we'll reassess the value of homes back to about 1985, when people could afford to buy things. Remember, these homes were artificially inflated, okay? It's all based on perception. You take the millionaires out of the picture, believe me, folks, the price is going to drop. All right? So, a $100,000 home can be purchased over 10 years by someone with minimum wage. And then after that 10-year period is done, the minimum wage earner is now $800 a month richer, or $5 an hour richer, however you want to look at it. All right, after 10 years. You're on the power play after that, okay? So that's my plan on how to buy a home on minimum wage with a few legislative changes to help you accomplish that. And remember, you're far better doing it the way I'm suggesting to do it, because this way, when we reassess and refinance mortgages, some people who paid, say, $600,000 for a $100,000 home, well, some of those people will be out of debt and they'll be homeowners after this process. Because when we reassess the value of the homes, we match your debt to the price of the home. So you're not paying $600,000 for a $100,000 home. And in the end of all that, a lot of people are going to be instant home buyers. They won't have to pay any mortgage. They'll have to pay no property tax. They'll never have to file for income tax ever again in Canada. Now the option is this. The other parties are going to offer you something else, but they're not going to tell you what it is. And I'll tell you what it is. Right now there's a bank bail-in in place. I believe Stephen Harper brought that in, where banks can take all your money and then just give you shares of a worthless bank. All right? That's what it is, to the best of my understanding. Okay? So that's one bad thing that can happen to you in all your savings. Another thing is, banks could raise interest rates. And that would hurt the homeowner. Now, banks and governments seem to work together to do you harm. So that means the banks will probably signal to the government that it's time to crash the economy. All right? There's a lot of ways they can do that. They can start bringing in more foreign goods and things like this. They can raise your taxes. So now the bank wants more money from you. The government wants more money from you. The economy's been crashed. You can't even work. Guess what? That bank just turned thin air into your house like that. And that's the banker's magic trick. Whenever you have a financial crisis, banks do the hocus pocus. They make a few moves legislatively with their buddies in the government, and they end up pricing you out of home ownership, and they turn that thin air into homes and businesses and whatever else that is a material good that was bought with their dirty money. All right, guys? So in a nutshell, that's how I would fix the banking crisis in Canada. We could do it legislatively by lowering the bar on home ownership. Also, we can make it possible for Canadians to earn their way through life by providing them with a fair playing field. As a matter of fact, I'll make it an unfair playing field. We'll tax the corporations, not because we need the money, just to retard their process a bit so that ma and pa can come out on top. Because during this scamdemic, it's hard not to notice that corporations were very much favored to reduce our points of supply so that they can have more control over us. Okay, if you have fewer places to buy groceries, then if they implement a vaccine passport, they've got more control over you. Now, if ma and pa businesses were stronger in our nation, they could have avoided all these economic problems by resisting the government. And there would have been too many little fires to put out. But because ma and pa businesses have been snuffed out almost entirely, the corporate world worked lock and step with this government to help take our freedoms away and to put us in grave danger from these vaccines. All right, my friends, all of the best to you. My name's Leslie Bory. I'm an independent candidate in the riding of Brantford-Brant. Good luck to all Canadians. All right, guys, have a great day.